We are currently navigating the meta-crisis, an interconnected collapse of biodiversity and climate stability driven by a global demand for infinite economic growth. This scale of crisis usually forces us into a corner. We either wait for gridlocked national governments to act, or we attempt to carry the entire ecological burden alone by obsessing over our individual carbon footprints. Both options are rooted in what ecologist William Rees calls the neoliberal myth, the flawed assumption that the human economy is a separate, self-sustaining loop that exists entirely apart from the natural environment. Because the planet's energy flow is fixed, an economy that grows forever must extract its resources from the living world. Through competitive displacement, we expand our habitat by physically consuming the land and energy all other species need to survive. This model fractures our sense of community, leaving us as isolated individuals attempting to solve a systemic collapse. The result is a total state of paralysis. Our belief that we are separate from nature is precisely what makes us feel so helpless to protect it. Escaping the meta-crisis doesn't require fleeing to a remote bunker. It requires grounding yourself in a specific local geography. This is the shift into ecological adulthood. It's the realization that no centralized authority is coming to fix our homes for us, and that we must take responsibility for our immediate surroundings. We find our agency in the bioregion. These are life places determined by the physical boundaries of nature, the flow of water, the types of soil, and the patterns of the local climate. Shifting our focus to the bioregional scale creates the physical bridge we need, turning planetary scale dread into local, actionable solutions. This commitment turns a resident into a bioregional trailblazer. You become someone who translates psychological clarity into concrete outer ecological action. Trailblazers skip the overwhelming global manifestos to build a bioregional action map, a local roadmap designed for the unique needs of their own neighborhood. The map provides a step-by-step progression, moving from internal work into external phases, where we harvest active hope and go forth. Effective mapping means starting exactly where you are. Identifying local resources provides small, consistent steps that keep you from feeling overwhelmed. This involves practical logistics, identifying your watershed, mapping local food systems, and coordinating with neighbors to meet specific ecological needs. By breaking massive global threats into manageable community tasks, the action map provides a functional exit from paralysis. You don't need to build this movement from the ground up. Your first task is simply to find the outposts that already exist. You belong to a global network regenerating their home landscapes. You can plug into existing outposts like local permaculture guilds, community gardens, or digital hubs. Once connected, you become a story sharer. You use your personal experiences in your landscape to organize neighbors and create synergistic local projects. When we pool our unique talents within these groups, we create a compounding force for regional restoration. Utilizing this community infrastructure means no individual has to carry the burden of the crisis alone. These local actions generate an echo effect. Small, consistent regenerative steps taken by one community naturally ripple outward to influence the next. The process scales up in phases. It begins with micro-scale coherence, where individual actions synchronize to form a stable local network. As these networks grow, they align with other groups to heal entire landscapes, reaching bioregional scale coherence. Finally, thousands of these self-organizing bioregions connect globally. They reach a tipping point of planetary restoration we call Earth system coherence. You don't need to wait for a centralized global authority to give you permission to start. By aligning your daily life with the recovery of your landscape, you choose to be an active participant in a resilient future. Stepping up as a bioregional trailblazer proves that the crisis and the cure are one and the same. By restoring the world outside your door, you find the purpose and connection needed to restore yourself. We have built our world on a high-stakes assumption that our industrial momentum is as unsinkable as the steel hulls we once set into the Atlantic. But the elephant in the room has grown too large to ignore, moving out of our private shadows and into the center of our lives. This is the meta-crisis, the tipping point where the stories of endless growth collide with the physical limits of our planet. The Lifeboat Mini Course is your immediate, structured transition, a free 5-day journey delivered to your inbox to transform global anxiety into local resilience. Day 1 begins with an audit of the invisible, the energy and water systems you rely on every hour, yet rarely ever see. Day 2 forces a change in your geographical lens, challenging you to locate your true home within your watershed and local bioregion. You won't navigate this terrain alone. You will receive daily study guides and synthesized patterns designed to cut through the noise and reveal the architecture of change. Day 3 asks you to practice active hope in a world facing ecological overshoot. Day 4 introduces the demanding standard of revolutionary love. By tracing the water back to your neighbor's tap, you move beyond the narrow walls of self-help and into the expansive, interconnected practice of systems health. The climax arrives on Day 5 with the introduction of a specific framework for your future, the 9x21 harvest. Who is your mutual guiding spirit in this transition, and which 9 things will you choose to do? Stop waiting for the headlines to crush you. Sign up for the Lifeboat Mini Course now. Access your Day 1 materials immediately and join the community hub where the next story of our world is already being written.
You can remain tied to the illusion of a collapsing global credit card, or take this course to begin building real systems health today. The Earth is tired of the lie. It is time to dance with the truth.